Hi, I'm Brent Campbell. After sharing with you in my last video the 3 worst foods for your body, today I will dive into the next 3 worst foods to avoid, in order from less bad to bad. Number 6, farmed fish. Though I'm allergic, I'm including this because from my observation, people eat this stuff thinking it's healthy when it's not. Omega-3 fatty acids, the fat that comprises 2/3 of our brain and is essential to our health, is abundant in certain fish. And you cannot get some of these fatty acids without eating certain fish. Unfortunately, eating cheaper farmed fish is unhealthy. Similar to what happens with factory farmed cows and chickens, which I'll cover in greater detail next, crowded conditions make the fish sick and contamination is rampant. The practice is also terrible for the environment. Eating clean, wild-caught fish like salmon, sardines, or anchovies weekly, on the other hand, can increase your lifespan by more than 2 years, reduce your risk of dying from cardiovascular disease by 35%. The difference is profound. Canned salmon labeled Alaskan salmon is a way to buy healthy salmon without breaking the bank, as it is far cheaper than whole salmon steaks. Now, related but different, number 5, factory farmed meats and dairy. We are what we eat, as the saying goes, and we are what we ate too. Most livestock today spends much of their time living in conditions far from their natural ecosystems. Rather than doing what cattle, for instance, do best, use their unique digestive systems to convert grass to protein, instead, cattle spend their lives in feedlots, feeding on corn and soy instead. Then, when one gets sick from the terrible conditions that they're living in, every cow gets pumped up with antibiotics. The cows are unhealthy, and then we turn around and drink their milk or eat their meat and the many products derived from cows. Guess what? It makes us unhealthy too. Then you got processed meats like bacon, I know, deli cold cuts, hot dogs, sausages, ham, and other cured meats that are flavored and preserved in sodium and cancer-causing preservatives. Eating processed meats increases your risk of getting colon cancer and high blood pressure, which lead to heart disease and stroke. So, what should you have instead? Beef, chicken, and pork from grass-fed animals, on the other hand, have fewer unhealthy fats and cholesterol and more omega-3 fatty acids, which means it's healthier for your heart. Grass-fed beef also has vitamins A and E, antioxidants, and more omega-3 fatty acids than conventional beef, which helps fight cancer and lower the risk of diabetes. Even better, grass-fed beef and chicken not only taste better, but when managed properly, they're also less taxing on the environment. As for milk, I'll just state what should be the obvious. Cow's milk is the perfect food for calves. It wasn't intended for human consumption. If you just can't give up milk, do choose organic. Research shows that organic milk has a much healthier fat profile. And don't hesitate to get full-fat organic milk, as research has shown that full-fat dairy does a better job of keeping the weight off than low-fat dairy. Some will argue that raw milk is a better alternative still. When raw milk is pasteurized, it loses much of its nutritional content. Since the lactase enzyme gets destroyed in the heating process, some people cannot properly digest the milk sugar, lactose. Better still, pastured goat milk, yogurt, and cheese are actually good for you. Goat cheese on anything is delicious, in my opinion. I could go on, but I will stop there and move to the next food to avoid. Number 4, seed oils. Processed seed oils like canola, corn, cottonseed, safflower, soybean, and sunflower oil contain very high levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which are highly inflammatory and not good for your body by any measure. As a rule, you want to seek out omega-3s like your life depends on it, because it does. Omega-6s, on the other hand, are very hard to avoid, but you want way fewer of the omega-6s than the 3s. Got it? Good. Now, these seed oils have been linked to birth defects, cancer, high cholesterol, diabetes, digestive disorders, heart disease, immune system impairment, learning disabilities, liver problems, obesity, reduced growth, sexual dysfunction, skin reactions, and vision reduction, to name just a few. Use extra virgin olive oil, avocado, or coconut oil. Avocado oil has a 500-degree smoke point, which makes it perfect for high-temperature cooking. And then aim to get more foods with omega-3 fats like fatty fish, walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds. Even eggs and meat from grass-fed animals have omega-3s. For the sake of brevity and to not overwhelm, I've left many foods off of this list. For example, I spoke at length earlier about refined carbs. I didn't mention, say, processed soy products. Years ago, I'd eat protein bars, which tasted a bit like candy but had tons of protein. I saw it as a meal substitute while on the go. Smart, right? Not so smart. Soy protein isolate is so heavily processed, and the potential issues associated with it extensive. You're better off carrying a bag of nuts with you instead. You know, the ones not doused in salt, sugar, and seed oils. Yeah. To make matters complicated, not all soy is bad for you, though it's not quite good for you either. It's a cheap, relatively shelf-stable, complete protein source. So, in a pinch, it does the job, especially if you're vegan or vegetarian. Is it good for you, though? The short answer is not particularly. Some swear to its benefits, while others swear it causes cancer. If you must eat soy products, go organic and fermented whenever possible, as fermenting soy improves its digestibility and absorption in the body. My teenage daughter is a vegetarian and a tad on the picky side, so I do feed tofu to her while nagging her to have a side of kefir, walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds, which she does when prompted. So, for today's video, to summarize, the next 3 worst foods are: number 6, farmed fish; number 5, factory farmed meats and dairy, followed by number 4, highly inflammatory seed oils. Alright, that's it for today. In an attempt to keep my commentary brief and more digestible, I didn't go into much of the detail I could, as it's just overwhelming. Yet, I'm hoping I gave you adequate reason to reconsider certain things you may have assumed weren't bad for you, or at least that bad for you. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news here. Having discussed over these past 3 videos what to eat, in short, eating the right things ensures that your body gets the nutrients it needs to function at its best. And then what not to eat, not eating the wrong things, to minimize the damage they can do. Then there's the other important concept to understand, which has changed everything for me: when to eat. And we'll dive into that next. Until then, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe so you can stay tuned. See you next time.